list here today. I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite open world video games. I saw this one and I was like, sure, I like talking video games. And it'd be fun to talk about some of my favorite bigger open world games. I might forget some of my own favorites. I'm not gonna rank them or anything, but I'm gonna start with my favorite Grand Theft Auto game, open world, and that would be Vice City. I fucking loved Vice City when it came out. I remember I fucking pre-ordered it. I was so pumped. I remember going in to get it. That one I think I got at Electronics Boutique. And I'm getting mine, and some kid goes up and he's like, yeah. He's like with his grandfather. He's like, yeah, this is the game I want. And the grandfather's like, okay. And then the guy behind the counter's like, this was like a younger kid. He was maybe like 12 or 13. I was like, yeah, it's violence and all this shit. And the grandfather's like, oh, really? I always remember that, but I loved it. It's modeled, Vice City's modeled after Miami. It has such a cool look of both sides. You get the beach. You have the main part, then you have the other side, across the bridge is the other side. And you got some stuff in the middle as well. Little islands with houses. Your one now, big mansions on the one island. But I always liked that open world. I liked it more than 3. 3's open world's fine, Liberty's safe, but they did a better job with it in 4, obviously. Technology was further advanced. San Andreas has a fucking massive open world. I didn't play enough of San Andreas, but the open world was fucking huge. It's almost too big. That's actually the case with the Just Cause games as well. And even Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I'll talk about that one in a few minutes, but yeah, just Vice City. I love the look of it, and they got the 80s feel down. The colors and stuff, and the soundtrack was great. The open world was just fun to explore, especially listening to all those tunes and shit. It was just it really was a nice representation. I'm talking about layout of Miami. Obviously it wasn't exact, but they did a good job with one. I really like that one. GTA 5 had a really cool open world. It's once again right. It's like San Andreas, but I don't think it has all of the areas of San Andreas that San Andreas had. It's another really cool open world as well, though. Not one of my favorites, although I love GTA 5. It's a great game, but I wouldn't put it in my top 5 open worlds. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I have not played enough of Origins. I do like Origins open world, and some of the other older ones have good open worlds too. Syndicate is London, and that's cool. Black Flag has a really good open world too, actually. But Odyssey's is that, but once again, almost too fucking big. It's huge, but it's gorgeous. There's a lot of different little islands you can go to and explore. You're exploring crazy in that game. It's just a lot, but there's a lot of variation too. In Odyssey, there's a lot of, like I said, just cool stuff to explore. You use the ship a lot. You can fast travel from point to point once you get to the places. But I think you can fast travel to the. It's to you can fast travel to the towers or whatever the fuck they are that you climb when you open up more stuff, right? I forget. It's been a while. But yeah, Odyssey is a great open world. It's just like I said, it's probably a bit too big. It's fucking huge. Like I said, it's fun when you're in the ship cruising around. and stuff. It's just fun, and you find, like, same thing with Black Flag. You find, like, an island, you're like, oh shit, you hop off your boat, jumping around looking for stuff. It's fun to, just kind of waste, like, an hour or two just exploring and finding random things. I like that in games. And that game is really fucking cool. I think I've said in previous videos, it's like a top game for me, and it might even be in my top 10 Xbox One games. But as an Assassin's Creed game, it doesn't really have much of an Assassin's Creed feel. That's my opinion on it, but it just doesn't. To me, like, I don't. It's still fucking amazing, but, like, I'm not thinking Assassin's Creed when I play it. And it just doesn't have, like, the feel of some of those other Assassin's Creeds. But as a game, it's awesome. As an open world game, it's awesome. I said there's just tons to do in that game. Like, when you get to the map, there's just so much fucking shit when you open up most of it, and just when it's all of it's shit everywhere. It was really good. I mean, that game was like a precursor. It wasn't. They weren't the Templars yet, and the Assassins. That was the only thing that kind of maintained Assassin's Creed. I forget what they were called. The Cult of the Cosmos, did they call them in that one? I could be wrong. That was the group you were, like, hunting, and it was like a precursor to the Templars or whatever. But another cool open world, though, for sure. A lot of them are newer games. Another older one that I love, this open world, very unique open world, is Morrowind, Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. It's the first Elder Scrolls I played, and the open world, also a pretty big open world too. And this one was a pain in the ass because the only way you could fast travel is at certain points with the Silt Striders, like the giant bug things that you traverse, the cat snoring. So sometimes, you'd have to run 10-15 minutes to get back to a Silt Strider, or maybe you're making the whole run, to another place. You could be going from one end of the map to the other. It could take you some time. But it gave you an excuse to explore stuff, and Morrowind had a very unique game world. The whole center of it is the mountain. It's like the guys, I forget what it was called, Mount whatever, what the fuck it was called. That's where the guy is, his area, the bad guy. But there's like a bunch of ashlands in the middle, and the outskirts you've got like woods type shit, and you also have like the giant mushrooms that had that like unique look. Very fantasy worldy, more so than Oblivion and Skyrim. Morrowind had that more of a fantasy vibe to it. Had a bunch of different cool looks within the island, the big island itself. And the cities look cool, like Balmara and Vivek. And there was other smaller ones where you'd go into like giant, like kind of almost a giant mushroom fucking town. Like, shit, you'd go into the big thing and there'd be like, the vendors and the merchants would be in there and shit in people's houses. I'm pretty sure Vivek was the big city. There's Daggerfell in that one too. I don't know if that was on the little island above Morrowind. But that had more of, and then a couple other towns, like the first one you go into, when you get off the ship, has the more of the medieval look to it. So it was very varied, which was cool. Like I said, it was like a bunch of different looks on the same island, and it always kind of went inward. Like the middle was the ashlands, and even some of the top, I believe, and the one side had more of like the woodsy type feel, and you have the water there and stuff, and then you had like that more fantasy look with the mushrooms and shit. But it was a really cool game, and it was a really cool fucking world. I could sit here and say open worlds, such as, go back even further for me, like Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy III, Final Fantasy VI. It was an huge open world too. Once you get like the airship and you're flying around, obviously it's a Super Nintendo game, but I mean they re-released it like 80 times. But it was I love that fucking game too. It's a top 5 game all time for me. But once you hit the airship and you're flying around, it's cool just to go into the mountain areas and stuff, and the time looked great, and I still like the look of it. And that was a pretty varied one too. And then Kefka destroys the fucking world halfway through, and it's like completely ripped apart and looks completely different afterwards. Like I said, once you have the airship, you can go to little towns and shit. Much easier. But even when you're just running through and walking to places and stuff, it's cool. You have like desert areas and stuff, like I said, mountains and shit like that. The ghost train is in that one, which is cool. That was a really cool kind of earlier open world game. Even something like Final Fantasy X has a cool open world, a little more linear once again until you get the airship, and you can bounce back and forth to places. So they don't become open until later on. Final Fantasy 15 has a cool open world too, actually. Another one that's very varied in looks of it and stuff. I wouldn't necessarily call it one of my tops, but it's another one that has a cool vibe to it. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, awesome fucking game world, awesome fucking game. It's a Witcher series, obviously, based on the books, which are also awesome. But that is another world that's fairly varied. The second one, I didn't play much of the first one. I have it on Steam. The second one has a cool, but that's like when you go to certain areas in Assassin's Creed, Witcher 2, Assassins of Kings. You're in those smaller areas for a certain period of time, and then you leave. So it's not like a legit open world. The Witcher 3 is just a fucking huge game world, another big one, and the DLCs are great. Blood and Wine has the I forget the name of the place, but it's like the French kind of area. It would be more inspired by like France, and that's fucking gorgeous, man. You have like the vineyard type shit, and that's a really, that one looks great too, and that's pretty fucking big too. I forget what it's called though. I forget a lot of the names of the places in The Witcher. Novigrad, is that in there? But there's some big cities. Oxenford, I think, is another one. And they all look fucking nice. Like, you get the medieval look, you get a fantasy look in parts as well. And there's, like, all types of shit everywhere in that game world that you can find. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's not as fucking detailed as the game we're going to talk about in a few minutes, but The Witcher 3 does have a really colorful, really nice game world that's varied, and there's a whole lot of stuff going on. Busted up battlefields, lush landscapes and shit like that. And obviously you go back to Kaer and the Witcher fucking base, which is cool. Yeah, Oxenford's definitely one, but I can't remember a ton of the names for some reason. It's been a while since I've fucked with anything Witcher related too. That's another sick open world. This one, though. This might be the best open world game I've ever played. Just because the level of fucking detail in this game, and it's Red Dead Redemption 2. It's a big open world. It's fucking gorgeous. And I played this game like... When did I play this? I think it was last year. It was 2021, winter of 2021 that I played it. It might have been early 2021 that I played it, but I think it came out in, maybe 18 or 19. So I played it a little late, but it is fucking stunning. Once again, you start off in like the snowy mountains and shit. It looks fucking fantastic. You go down to different areas, some of which were in the first Red Dead Redemption. I don't know if they were in Red Dead Revolver. But you get like deserty areas and fucking nice woods. Like I said, you have the snowy kind of mountains and shit. There's a lot going on. Once again, I can't fucking remember the names of these places either. You got the trains going around the fucking game world. You can rob the trains. This is a game where there's tons of weird shit going on too, which is great. There's like a cannibal you gotta find. I think he's a cannibal, or just, a serial killer. I think there are cannibals in it as well. But the serial killer you find, there's a fucking part where you go to an abandoned kind of church-looking thing, and there's a bunch of skeletons in there, and then you come back later. It tells you to come back at a certain time. There's a fucking UFO above you. Which I love that. It encourages you to explore and find little things. And there's just such crazy little details in this game. Like the animals are doing their own thing and shit. A lot of the side people that you meet, really cool stories is there too, and things could change a little bit if you don't go back to them, or if you go back to them more and stuff. I forget the woman's name. She was later on. Her husband died, and you hang out with her a little bit and stuff. And that was a really good one, actually. I forget what her name was. There's like a Tesla dude in there as well. You do stuff for. The side missions were worth finding because they were fucking awesome. A lot of interesting characters. And the cool thing about Red Dead Redemption 2 is it's goofy, a bit goofy like a GTA, but it's actually 10 times more serious than the GTAs, and that's what I liked. And the voice acting is fucking phenomenal. The guy who voices Arthur Morgan is just amazing. But you travel around, you can fast travel, you travel around your horses and stuff. You can travel by, I think, carriage as well, and you can travel by train to certain places. You play different games and stuff. You're just meeting people everywhere. There's people like doing random shit, fucking woods and stuff. It's such a fucking like living, breathing game world. It's nuts. It's so good though. And then you play as John Marston, the guy from the first one, because he's in the gang. But you play as him after Arthur dies. The game continues for a bit, and you're building his like homestead that appears in the first Red Dead Redemption, so that's cool as well. And that's where you're entering more land that you were in the first game. But just a stunning game world, and very, very varied as well as waterfalls and shit, and animals all over the place. Like I said, people doing shit everywhere. You know, random occurrences happen. We gotta help people. Sometimes they fucking fuck with you though. Just a really cool game, and just like finding random stuff when you're running around. It's really fucking cool. That's probably the best one. And then like Oblivion has a good one, and Skyrim. I like Skyrim's better than Oblivion. Skyrim has a nice open world as well. Nice open plains, snowy mountains, and shit, forests. That's a really cool one. I put so much time into Skyrim. What's the, I'm trying to remember some of these, I can't remember some of these names of these towns. What's the fucking one in the middle that you gotta go to first, the first big area? It's like behind the walls. I can't remember the name of that one either. It has the cool song when you go in there too. I can't remember the fucking name of it. I can't remember fucking, it's funny how I can't remember these names of these places. It's really bad. But varied as well in this one. And then if you do the expansion, what's the one expansion called? Dragonborn, I think it was, right? You go to like you don't go to Morrowind itself, but it's an island off of Morrowind. Soul's team that I believe was also in one of the Morrowind expansions, Blood Moon. So you get some of the mushroom stuff there as well. I can't remember the name of the fucking towns. It's fucking ridiculous. None of them, like in these games, I can't remember their names. I did remember Vivek and Balmora though from 3. Oblivion has a cool game world that's kind of varied, but it's not as big as Skyrim. At least I don't think it is. It's another one I can't remember the fucking towns other than the Imperial City and Anvil is one in Oblivion. The Imperial City's in the middle, and that was cool too. It had the huge Imperial City, and then outside the walls you get like the rivers and shit. When you first come out of the sewers in Oblivion and see that game world, you're like, holy fuck, I'm gonna be able to run all over the place here. That one really like wowed me, and I was less wowed later on, just from because it became more commonplace over time. I'm missing a bunch, I know I am. You know, even Halo Infinite, which is a much smaller open world, very cool though, very fucking cool. Oh, I haven't really talked about Halo. The Far Cry 2. How could I fucking forget Far Cry 2? I fucking love Far Cry 2. Love the fucking game world of Far Cry 2. like it's like almost a half and half game. It takes place in like a fictional African country, and the first half's kind of like plainsy and stuff, and then the second level, after shit goes down, you go to the second area and you can't go back to the first. It's more like lush kind of jungles and stuff. The first part had more plains and shit, but just really cool. Another cool open world game. I remember getting a little GPS thing and you're trying to find the diamonds and stuff. So it gives you kind of excuse to explore. Cool little towns you go to. Nothing like super elaborate or anything, but it's really cool. And then the second part, you go down the river on this little boat. Because all your buddies like get killed, I think. Or fellow. Because you can, in that game, you choose between like I think you can do it in 6 as well, I believe, right? I played some of 6. But you could choose like 6 or 7 different like mercenary type people in this game. And then the other ones hang out at this bar. And eventually they all get killed. Except you. But I love the game world of fucking Far Cry 2. I love that game in general. It's my favorite Far Cry. And then you go into like the deeper at the end, like the Ghost in the Dark. Ghost in the Darkness or another. No, it was more like I think of like a Apocalypse Now type fucking thing. But you're like deep in the fucking jungle at the end game. And that looked cool as well. Just a really cool game though, and you can like you get in boats and go down the little rivers and shit. Far Cry 5. I think some of Far Cry 5 is hokey as fuck. I've said this in the past. I think that the sister has a pretty cool storyline. The one brother who is the war veteran has a good one as well. I think the first brother you fight is goofy as fuck. And the main guy, I think, is goofy as fuck. The sister was kind of cool. She was using the drugs, and then the war veteran as well. The other brother had a lot of good stuff as well. But the thing that game was too, it was like, oh, we're gonna fucking, we're gonna like make it seem like you were the fucking bad guy the whole time. It's just so fucking ridiculous considering what this cult was doing to people throughout the game. I think they were ripping off people's flesh at points and shit. And I'm supposed to pretend like I'm the fucking like terrible. Far Cry 4 did that 10 times fucking better than fucking 5 did. And 4 has another awesome game world as well. I don't want this video to be overly fucking long, but but 5's game world, it's like supposed to be like I think Montana or something, is fucking stunning, man. It's gorgeous. Once again, just a lot of variation to it when you get in the plane and you're flying around. You just see it all. It looks so good. Huge, tall fucking trees and shit. Rivers and lakes and all that crap. Like, it just looks fucking great. 4 has a better story. The game world, I don't like as much. It's still a really good game world, but 4, you're actually like, because there's a part in 4, if you, in the beginning, you can end that game in like 5 minutes, I think, if you go to the guy and he shows you your family's burial, and he's like, listen, man, he's like, he kind of knows he's fucked up, but he's not that fucked up. And with the shit you're doing, you're like, maybe I am fucked up, because the people you align yourself with end up being like fucking just as fucked up. 4 gets, I don't know if 4 gets the praise it should. 4 is better than 5. It does a better job of being like, oh shit, you're pretty fucked up. You didn't listen to the bad guy in the beginning, You could have, and the game would have ended, which I thought was cool. 5 is more hokey and like, really, I'm the bad guy, and you guys are fucking ripping flesh off people and doing all the fucked up shit, taking people's land. Like, get the fuck out of here. But yeah, Far Cry 3 had a great game world as well. The islands and stuff was really nice. 6, from what I played, 6 has a really cool game world too. Maybe I'll go a minute or 2 more. I'm trying to think of some other games. I forgot a million probably. I might have to do a second one of these. Trying to think. I mean, there's like Fallout. I forgot about the Fallout fucking games. I only played Fallout 3 and 4, and I played some of New Vegas. 3 has a cool open world. 4 has a better one, but you get more of the fucking destruction and shit. And then you go to like this ruined DC in 3, which is cool. So it's like a different game world because everything's dead. And there's is you're just walking into like abandoned shits, finding fucking supplies and stuff. And 4 has like the Boston area, which is cool. You go to Fenway Park, I believe they have a town in Fenway. Those are both really cool game worlds though, like bust up fucking, drive-in movie theaters and shit. You go into like random houses and like factories and stuff like that. It's cool. 3 and 4 don't both have really cool game worlds for sure. I think I like 3 maybe a little better. 4 actually is really cool though. 4 you get to New England stuff, so you go to like you go to Salem and shit and stuff like that. And you get to see the Witches Museum or whatever they called it. But yeah, 3 is more you're in the DC area and you actually go to Bethesda. You can go to Bethesda. The people is in there. That town is in there. There's other towns as well. You end up in DC a little later, actually. I think that's where the Brotherhood of Steel is lined up, and then you get in the giant robot and you're fucking shit up. But yeah, that's just me rambling about some of my favorite open world games. I know I didn't go crazy in depth with a lot of them, and I've forgotten a bunch of my favorites. I know I have. I'm gonna fucking just look at my Xbox games and be like, holy shit, I forgot a bunch. But yeah,